Sonic Discovery. This is your host, David. On this episode, we're going to cover new music from BØRNS, cupcakKe, and Shane. Guys, welcome to a new episode. I hope you were able to catch the last one that we did. Some pretty good stuff was covered on that one. I was especially fond of an album from Jeff Rosenstock. On this one, we have 3 new albums to present to you. Before we get started, I do want to go through a couple things about the show. First, the rating system. So, albums here, they're going to range from a 10 to a 0. A 10 means that it was fantastic. A classic album, something that everybody should listen to. And 0 meaning, why did they even make this, right? Okay, so up first on the show, we're going to be talking about BØRNS. This new album is called Blue Madonna. He was, his birth name is Garrett Clark BØRNS, and this is his second album being released through Interscope. His debut album was called Dopamine, and that was released back in 2015. And that contained a pretty big hit with the song Electric Love. If you're not familiar with BØRNS, his sound is pretty, poppy. There's a lot of songs that incorporate more synths, and also some that incorporate more of a glam rock influence, which you can definitely hear on the opening single of the album, Faded Heart. Now, on this one, this is a big glam rock stomper. Really shows off his falsetto. One thing I can definitely say about BØRNS is that he has an amazing voice. On this particular song, he's questioning love and mortality along with a bunch of other stuff, which was kind of vague. Sweet Dreams was one I was especially fond of. This has more of a synth pop sound and has these nice little synth flourishes throughout. On here, he's pondering what could have happened with, that love that just didn't materialize. Iceberg was the one I particularly like. This one has this really cool guitar delay effect. Also, that bass that comes down on the second chorus, it's pretty good. The progression on here is also just overall pretty good. And on here, he's expressing his desire for this girl. And, he's just not really sure how to break the ice with her. How to really start the conversation. Second Night of Summer. This one had a pretty interesting beat. There's these cool piano keys that really accent certain parts of it that I enjoyed. And on here, he's trying really hard not to think of this girl that did him wrong, but he's hooked. All he can think of is this girl. Supernatural is a great synth pop song, and this one has nice strings, a great vocal melody, and here he's contemplating the supernatural effects of love. Also, what made this one extra special to me is that there was this really great theremin solo about like 3/4 of the way through. If you guys don't know what a theremin is, it's this cool electronic instrument. You kind of like put your hand over it and there's these waves. It creates these sound waves that are really eerie sounding. It's really cool. And the closing track I was also very fond of, Bye Bye Darling. This is more of a glam rock ballad. On here, he is bidding goodbye to a relationship that was, ready for it to come to an end. There were other songs on here that I did like, just not as much. Like the opening track, God Save Our Young Blood, which is a duet that he does with Lana Del Rey. On this track, they both sing about, it's kind of like an ode to their eternal youth. And some references to California as well. But, they're both young now, but it's going to catch up with you guys. Yeah. Blue Madonna is another song which features Lana Del Rey. This time, though, she's just kind of stuck in the background. And here he talks about the perfect dream girl, which I'm sure to some people could possibly be Lana. We Don't Care is another glam influenced song. This one just doesn't have quite a good of a hook on here, but what it does have going for it is that it does have a cool guitar solo in it. Tension was this short interlude that I really enjoyed. It has this nice funkiness to it, but it was just way too short. Only about a minute and a half. It could have been longer. Yeah, it should have been longer. And Man is kind of a cross between glam and synth pop. This one is just him pleading for him to be able to be your man. And I Don't Want You Back, which is one in which he's talking about a girl that he's better off without. Overall, I did enjoy this album. It was a nice surprise to me because I didn't know his debut, so I just kind of went into this hoping for something good, and I did enjoy it. This is gonna get a score of a 7 from me, so definitely worth checking out. All right, next up on the show, we have album number 3 from cupcakKe. She is a Chicago rapper. The name of this album is Epherise. And it's her 3rd album, but she's remained pretty busy. She has released 2 mixtapes and also recently done some work on a couple of songs by Charlie XCX on some of her recent projects. I first became aware of cupcakKe through these videos I had seen from her. They were pretty raunchy songs, and just going off of that one particular song, you could be thinking that's just like her one-trick pony, but she's actually quite good. She's a pretty good MC, a damn good rapper. She's got great flow on almost every song on this album. She also has great introspective tracks, talking more about her personality, and on some too, she goes pretty hard. I'm not sure who she's mad at. Sometimes she's a little bit more specific about who she's attacking, and others she's not. First let's kind of go into this more of the introspective tracks, because the opening song, 2 minutes, is a great one to show you that she has a lot more to her than what's on the surface. Here she's just talking about just the struggles that she's had in real life, and just kind of going into calling people out when they say that you haven't struggled as much, because everyone struggles in different ways. Wisdom Teeth is one that has a pretty aggressive beat. There are some nice bright synths here and some flute sounds, which is more of trap. If you listen to trap rap, that's basically a trademark of that style, and she definitely has songs that are in that has that influence. On here, she's talking about the struggles that she has from her past. Self-Interview is one in which she contemplates why she makes the choices that she makes. She's questioning, is this really true to myself? And also calls out some things that she just finds pretty unfair in the world in general. Exit is the leading single from this album. And on this one, she's basically just telling that did her wrong, that he needs to get out of her life. So there's the exit right there. Crayons was one that I particularly liked. It has a dance hall feel to the beat, and this you can kind of see as an LGBTQ anthem, as crayons kind of stand for the color of the flag, all the different colors, and this one is just talking about being true to yourself and who you love. The chorus is boy on boy, girl on girl, like who the fuck you like, fuck the world. So that definitely says it pretty clear. Don't really care about what other people are saying, just live your own life. Total is one that had a bit more of a commercial appeal, because the beat is more leaning towards pop. And on here, she's just wondering if love is really worth all the hassle. Going into some of the more cartoonish type of more, risque songs here. Cartoon was one that had a pretty good cartoonish beat. On here, she's laying down some serious flow, bragging about how great she is. And on the hook, especially, she uses cartoon names in very creative ways. Some of these characters are put into pretty sexual situations. Duck Duck Goose was another one that was pretty raunchy. Very clever, though, in the way she uses these words. And again, expresses some pretty good flow. When it comes to the lyrics, I'm just going to let you guys dive into this one on your own. And Spoiled Milk Titties, another really raunchy song. Again, you got to check out the lyrics for yourself. Very creative, though. And I did like the beat on this one because it has a really cool guitar line throughout. Post Pick was probably one I was least fond of on the whole album. This has more of a pop beat on it, and just kind of saying how she's posting all these pics online, and she's pretty sure that your man is taking out the lotion to these pics, if you know what I mean. And then we go into the last couple songs, which are a bit more harder edge. Songs like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Navel, which has a flute in there on the beat that reminded me a lot of a track from Future from last year. Meet and Greet and Single While Taken are all more aggressive in style. Single While Taken, she's especially talking to a man that she knows is playing her. And then the album closes with Fullest, which gives us more of a Latin flair on the beat. And I do want to mention some of the lines she says on here because they're pretty great. She's sicker than most of these hospitals. The only thing you draw is them eyebrows, and them bitches still ain't the fullest. So just a little glimpse into some of the brilliance of cupcakKe. This album's going to get a score of an 8 out of 10 from me. So I highly recommend it. If you guys are open to it, I'm sure that there is something you're really going to enjoy about this release. And now heading to the last album for review. This is a debut album from a British band. This is called Songs of Praise by the band Shame. This band has more of a post-punk sound, but what makes them kind of stand out here is that they have these anthemic qualities to their music. I really enjoyed this. This particularly opens up with 4 really great songs. The opener, Dust on Trial, is a very powerful sound. It has a darker tone to the music too, and the vocalist here goes more into a deeper register in his voice, and the lyrics too are very dour. Concrete has a lot more urgency to it, and it has these cool shimmering guitars with a great call and response, especially in the first section of the song. This one is about the unusefulness of words. One Rizla is one that has more anthemic qualities to the song. This has a really great hook to it, great guitar lines too, and a really explosive chorus. This one is kind of like a diss track. You can kind of, reading into the lyrics, he's kind of talking about this girl that, she feels like you really want her when you really couldn't care less. And then we have the 4th song, The Lick. This one slows it down a bit, and it has a great bass groove to start. More talking delivery on the verses and explosive chorus. This one's championing a change to the status quo. Other great songs I do want to mention here. Friction, which is just an overall great rock song. The band really starts gelling on this one. And this one's telling you to basically question everything. Question what you think is just, what you think is unjust, because it all ends up being friction in the end. And the closing song, Angie. I love this one. This one is a 7-minute song, and it really, starts off with that post-punk sound, but also has, moments where it just gets really big. This one gave me really big Oasis vibes with this guitar sound that's really big and just an epic ending in general. Other songs I do want to mention, which weren't my favorite, but still worth mentioning. Tasteless also has more anthemic tendencies to it. This one's a bit more rougher around the edges, especially with the snarling vocal that he gives us. Gold Hole is also a rowdy song, and this one talks about a girl that basically allows herself to be a pleasure toy just so she can get all those material things that she desires. And two songs here, Donk and Lampoon, are shorter post-punk songs, very aggressive, more of a talking delivery on both, and just overall great songs. Again, I have to mention, this is a very promising debut from this band. This gets a score of an 8 out of 10 for me, so I highly recommend you check this out. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode. If you liked what you saw, then please make sure to press on the like button below, or also hit subscribe. That'd be great too. If you know of any friends that would enjoy this, pass this along to them. On the next episode, I'm going to be covering albums from Fall Out Boy, Tune Yards, and